Welcome to Operation Vagabond Falcon Part 10. Please forgive me, car, but I must do this. I must take a plasma cutter to you. No turning back now. A plasma cutter needs 240 volts and compressed air to work. It shoots that arc of electricity and ions straight through metal. It also makes tons of sparks and will eat right through your shoes. And it's also way faster than grinding. Oh yeah, and I had to put my jacket back on because one little bit fell on my arm and ooh, that hurt. What I'm doing here is cutting out the structural supports or sort of corner supports there between the very front of the car and the very end of the frame. The front of the car will be braced by a cross member, which will show up in a future video. That's from the TCI front suspension kit. These cross members are pretty intricate for 1959 when this car was built. They're almost shaped like two I-beams, so you don't just cut down the middle, you have to cut down the middle, under the bottom, up around the back. And since I'm learning how to do this, I don't do the greatest job of it. Although this shot looks pretty cool. Makes me look like I know what I'm doing. The next day! This is my new favorite tool in the world. Air chisel. This thing is like one continuous shotgun. This is the loudest thing I've ever heard. It uses a hardened steel chisel bit at the end of it that just constantly wham, 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 wham. And you can get it right under bits of metal that you need to chop off. Are you ready to be satisfied? Ooh, watch it take the top of this sway bar mount off. Watch. Oh yeah. Thorough. Now the shocks come out. These come out super easy. Just 3 bolts on the top, and I think 2 bolts on the bottom, and the whole thing lifts out. More plasma cutting. These are the cross members that connect the shock towers to the inside of the hood. These two do the most to give rigidity to the front end of the car, and they have to come out. Later on, they're going to be replaced by a Monte Carlo bar, which goes right across the top of the engine compartment. But these have to come out because the shock towers have to come out. Yes, it's true that some people have gotten 302 V8s into the engine of Ford Falcons. I mean, the Falcon Sprint from 1963 did have a 260 and possibly a 289, but those needed block hugger headers to be able to fit just barely. I mean, you're talking maybe less than an inch between the end of that header and those shock towers. All of this is coming out. For being such an important structural piece, these strut bars here are really thin and then just lifted right out. I think that little leather strap right there was braced or held like a vacuum line or maybe the radiator hose when it went back to the heater core. Now it's time to weld. MIG weld. Tony's going to show me what to do. Turn on the welder. Open the tank of argon gas, or maybe it's 50-50 air to argon, something in there. And he's going to show me we're going to use the MIG welder to fill in the holes that were left when we air chiseled those bottom braces out. You're tacking just a little bit on the bottom, and what you're doing is you're filling in the metal. You can do that. Tony shows me what to do, and then I give it a try. This is my first time MIG welding ever. And as Bruce said, it looked like bird poop. And I learned very quickly that the tack welds that I put in there didn't do anything because the grinder didn't just grind them off, it just grabbed them and threw the whole thing off. So okay, grind it all off, try it again. And I got better from the second time, got better at holding the welder on there and making sure the metal melted into the metal of the frame. So we have one solid piece going across. I found this to be very calming. I could do a lot more of this, and I want to get much better at this. This was fun. Okay, those are my welds after grinding. All right, they're a little bit sloppy, but I got plenty of metal in there. It's okay. These things are going to be covered up by the cross member anyway, so you just have to grind them flat and you'll be good. Next time on Operation Vagabond Falcon, my cock ring arrives in the mail.